Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. A little bit of a hiatus since the last quiz, but hey, that's how summer break works. I was in Thailand. Jesse went to Winnipeg, of all places.
Darn right I did, and you better call it by its right name. We've established this.
You know what? We're moving on. Now we're back, and we're here for a quiz. As you may have seen on my Instagram, I asked you guys actually what topic you would like to see in a quiz. Now, thank you for all your comments. I went through and I did read every single one of them. I didn't choose one in particular for this quiz, but I did read a couple of them that totally inspired this quiz. You know you're here for a quiz, but do you know what the quiz is on?
No, I don't.
Hell no.
I didn't comb through the 600 comments.
If anyone was going to read all of them, that was you. I saw what you did with the Ducks quiz. Didn't even work for you, by the way.
You're so sick, eh? Behind the camera again. Now you can chirp. Doesn't get to defend his title.
Oh, what's that? Sorry. What is
Whatever.
That? Is that a W?
Let's go.
That's a W.
That's a W.
That's E1.
Stop this right now.
Anyways, today's quiz is on NHL Controversies.
Like, drama?
So you might be wondering, what in the heck does that even mean?
Yeah.
That could be anything from wild suspensions, weird acquisitions of players, teams, just bizarre events that were controversial in the world of hockey. You should know by now, the show, we try to make it for everyone, so it's a little more on the PG side, so there are a couple of topics that, yeah, they're really controversial that we're just not going to touch on because kind of inappropriate.
In 2019, Evgeny Kuznets...
This act is over.
What, that's not going to be in this?
All right, you know how this works. 10 questions. We got that bonus round in the middle. If you get that bonus right, you get free strike. And of course, we now have our lifelines. Returning again for the lifeline is multiple choice. Without further ado, you ready to kick this off?
Let's do this.
I'm always ready for some controversy.
Let's do it.
Headphones off.
Let's go! Ho! Let's go! Come on, y'all.
Question number 1. Might as well get this one out of the way. I know you saw this in the thumbnail.
Brett Hull.
Thank God I didn't make that the question, but you're not far off. 20 years ago, Brett Hull's foot dashed the Stanley Cup hopes of Sabres fans. What do Sabres fans spitefully refer to this controversial game as?
Well, the name of that game was the game the Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup, and I celebrated.
I got 2 words for you all.
The no goal.
No goal! No goal!
No goal game!
The no-goal game.
Brett Hull, foot in the crease.
Yeah, no, his foot was in the crease, but to be fair to everyone else watching, that crease rule, kind of stupid. We've talked about that in the past.
Goal shouldn't have counted.
Don't know how they missed that one.
All right, moving on to question 2. Some of us with a little more dignity than others because they can admit that their team won their only Stanley Cup based on something that probably shouldn't have counted.
What's that? Sorry? Excuse me?
Speaking of body parts,
That's always a good segue.
I don't like where this is going.
I bet you Jesse does.
I love body parts.
Why were hockey fans up in arms after Erik Carlson scored an OT winner in the 2019 Western Conference Finals?
Ooh, so this one's nice and fresh still.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
So clearly should have been called.
I believe it's the hand pass.
The hand pass.
There was a hand pass on the play.
The hand pass.
And then Carlson used that pass to score.
That is correct. Guy sauced a pass like a quarterback, still ended up counting.
How do you miss that?
They didn't miss that. They were just like, I want to go home.
You could have a couple questions about the Sharks in this.
The Sharks also got a little help from the refs against the Vegas Golden Knights. No disrespect to the St. Louis Blues, but I think the Golden Knights would have won the Stanley Cup if they won that game. Tell me if you agree. I want to hear you in the comments. I think Vegas would have won the Cup.
I don't think people would have disagreed with you on that, but I'll tell you what they might disagree with you on. If you let 4 goals in, even though there's a power play, you deserve to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, don't let 4 goals in.
Waving on to the 3rd question. After strangely being selected by fans to play in an all-star game, this journeyman enforcer was asked to decline the invitation and was promptly traded away and demoted to the AHL after failing to do so. Totally unrelated, of course. Who was this player?
Okay, well, I actually still love this guy.
Everybody's favorite.
I struggle with this one. The Canadians had a little bit of a role in it.
Does everyone love the guy? John Scott.
John Scott.
John Scott.
It was John Scott.
The John Scott.
Hall of Fame numbers in the All-Star game.
Absolute sweet hand drag celebration.
One of my favorite parts about that whole story is that I feel like it's the best example of literally any person in the NHL is so much better than you at hockey.
You're the one in the office, I'm sorry, has probably one of the worst takes I've heard. There's a certain player, we won't mention them here, that you think if we played against them, we would stand a chance, and they were an NHL player for many years.
Obviously, everyone is pretty good who plays in the NHL, but like there are also some really good beer league teams.
He will be so much better than you because it's like a good junior player that was like, oh, I have to fight to keep playing. So they're still nasty.
If they're retired, no, I don't think they're the best.
What, you play twice a week now, Jesse? Like, get a grip.
Try to guess who we're talking about. My only clue is he's an absolute beauty.
All right, moving on to question 4. Is it true or false? It's back. You'll probably like this question, Emily. True or false? In 1955, Canadiens legend Maurice Rashard received a game misconduct for taking his jersey off while celebrating a game-tying goal. His ejection then led to a citywide riot in the streets of Montreal.
They rioted? There's no way they rioted.
Oh man,
Tarps off, pitchforks out.
tarps off. You're gonna get a lot of people riled up with that one, that's for sure.
Man, if that's not true, like, serious props. You have a pretty crazy imagination.
I feel like if Maurice Rashard took off his jersey and celebrated a goal, the NHL would not be the way it is, and they would not be losing their minds off an OV jump in the glass celebration.
I just think that's way too insane to make up, and it's pretty educational.
Montreal seems like a nice place, so I'm gonna go false.
I'm gonna go with false on this one.
No. And by no, I mean false. He didn't take his shirt off.
False.
I'm gonna go with T, final answer.
It's also your final question, because you're wrong, buddy. That is false.
The riots for the punches, like the fight.
He nudged a ref.
Nudged. So it is false.
Yeah!
But they did riot there.
When?
So the Rashard riots are a real thing. Maurice Rashard was suspended, but it was not because he took his shirt off and sallied. He made contact with the referee. He hit the referee. He was suspended for the remainder of the season. Canadiens fans, not happy about it. They rioted. The man had to go on the airwaves and tell people to stop.
Wow.
That's what it came to. Can you imagine if hockey was still like that? I guess Vancouver can kind of still almost imagine hockey like that, but you know. The Rashard riots, 1955.
That is about the most ridiculous question that you possibly could have asked. You people have no idea what I went through to get back in the quiz room tonight. Just had my championship hockey game, had to leave, come back to win the championship, baby. Let's go. And now I'm back here and I get out on question 4 for the absolute dumbest question I've ever heard in my entire life. What the heck? How could I possibly have known the answer to that? Like, this is legitimately becoming a problem. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, how can I not do it?
You don't need to get it, you need to get it.
Like, dumb questions.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I.
I'm going to riot!
Hey, this guy went tarps off like Rashard. Okay, moving on to question 5. In 2004, the Calgary Flames were 1 goal away from lifting the Stanley Cup, although some fans believe they did get that goal. Why did Martin Gélina's goal in the 3rd period of Game 6 not count? Anytime anyone like blocks their face from the camera, that means they don't know it.
The longer I don't look at the camera and admit defeat, I can still convince myself I'm in it.
I'm like seeing it all in my head too right now, like thinking like, oh man, like the Calgary Flames are gonna win the Stanley Cup.
I'm on the Calgary Flames side of this. They should have a Stanley Cup.
Okay, I don't know.
It didn't count because like they didn't review it.
I'm gonna go with the fact that it wasn't even seen / blown down.
They didn't notice that it may have went in, probably did go in. I'm saying it did go in.
At least live for sure. It looked like Javi Bulin made a nasty save.
Yes, that is correct. They didn't notice it went in.
They didn't go back and look. Definitely should have.
I feel like you think it was definitely in. Like,
Where are we here? Calgary would have had a Stanley Cup. Canada's drought would have ended. I mean, honestly, if I was a Ginla, I would have fought the ref, not Le Cavalier.
I think it was in. I also think this, though. You had more time to score another goal, so...
100%.
Yeah.
Well, steady as she goes, out the door.
Thank you for the raconteurs reference. I'll go out with a smile now.
Bonus round living, bonus round. You've made it here, so that means you like what you're watching. And if you like what you're watching, why not hit like? We keep hitting the trending page every time we release a new quiz, and that's because of you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
So, you know how this works. I'm gonna read you the question, and you have 30 seconds to answer. I'm actually doing a bit of a callback to something I've already asked you earlier in the quiz. Yes, I'm going to call back to question 1, the no goal.
The goal question.
The no goal game?
Yeah.
That happened to them twice. The very next season, no goal 2 occurred to the Sabres as this team eliminated them after this player scored a goal that was later revealed to have gone through the side of the net.
Side of the net, eh? That sucks.
Oh.
Player in the team, eh?
It was the
I don't know.
Philadelphia Flyers.
You might as well say someone.
There's 2 names in my head.
Leafs and Doug Gilmour.
Let's go with
John LeClair
John LeClair.
and the Flyers?
That is correct.
Yes. Wow.
Ooh, you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
You don't get a bonus.
I don't get a bonus.
A challenger has emerged. All right, well, we're moving on to question 6. Your lifeline has been activated. You ready?
Yep.
Question 6. After claiming to be worth $230 million, it was later discovered that this man who agreed to purchase the New York Islanders was actually only worth $5 million, and that his takeover of the team was fraudulent. What was the name of this big shot?
It was all his attempt to be a big shot.
Oh, I know this.
I'm so mad at myself right now because I know this and the name is on the tip of my tongue.
Yikes. I'm gonna use my lifeline on that.
I don't know his name, so I'm going my lifeline.
Let's use the multiple choice here.
Wow, that was instantaneous.
Yeah.
Well, here are the names. Louis Aguilera, Vincent Luciano, John Spano, Camp Granada.
Hello, mother.
Hello, Fada.
Hello, father.
Here I am in.
Camp Granada.
No, that's a real name.
I think it was John Spano, but I don't think it was, and I don't know.
I'm gonna go with C.
I think I'm gonna go John Spano.
I think it was John Spano, but I doubt it was, but I don't know.
Absolutely the least confident answer I've ever heard in this room. Unfortunately, you're moving on.
Yes.
Correct.
Sweet.
Yes!
You didn't earn it, I'll tell you that much.
Why? I knew it was him! I don't know.
It was John Spano. This guy owned the team for a few months.
John Spano's failed attempt to buy the New York Islanders spiraled into federal court today, where the 33-year-old businessman was arraigned on fraud charges on Long Island.
This is probably the wildest story in this entire list. When he was asked to pay for the cable rights, A, his checks would bounce, and B, he'd be like, my bad, 1 million? I thought you said 10,000. If you don't know the story, it's a 30 for 30.
It was everything I hoped it would be, and actually it was more. I mean, for 4 months, I owned the New York Islanders.
Check it out. Very much worth a watch. It is one of the wildest stories in hockey history. Anyways, moving on. Question 7. The high stick. With a minute to go in the 93 conference finals, Wayne Gretzky's stick hit Doug Gilmour in the face, but no penalty was called. Gretzky remained on the ice and went on to score the game winner. What did referee Kerry Fraser say he thought happened when he was asked why he didn't call a penalty? He said it in a TSN feature.
Wasn't he saying that couldn't have been Gretzky's stick? He can't raise it.
The most logical explanation for not calling a high stick and thinking someone didn't get high sticked is probably because you thought they got hit in the face with a puck.
You're done.
Oh gosh, I've brought great shame to my family.
Final answer.
I'm sorry, what?
Final answer.
You're supplying this as a real answer.
I don't actually know the
I feel,
answer.
is this just like cocky now? Like you're just like, I know it's wrong, but if I can make a Gretzky joke.
He thought it was the follow through.
He said, well, Gretz took a shot and his follow through hit me in the chin. And I said, well, if that's the case, Doug, follow through of a shot is not a penalty.
Well, you got it right.
That was a great call, Kerry, okay?
By the way, big ups to Kerry Fraser. He admits that he got that wrong.
It was a missed call.
And big ups to Wayne Gretzky for being like, nah, it was the right call.
You think that should have been a penalty?
No, not at all.
Christian, you have your bonus still, and you're moving on to question 8. Question 8. In what is perhaps the most bizarre missed call in NHL history, this Jets player grabbed a puck out of midair behind Ed Belfour's net, skated towards the net with the puck in his hand, and then dropped the puck into the crease to score an OT winner against the Blackhawks. Who scored this controversial goal?
Definitely don't know this one. I wish I didn't waste my strike on that last question.
You're an idiot.
This is wild. I've never even heard of this.
Well, that's not great, because now you got to tell me who scored the goal.
Yeah, I might have sewered myself. I don't know, like old Jets player, Dale Hawerchuk.
You're out of here.
Ty Domi.
Ty Domi did not do it. Why does everyone say Dale Hawerchuk when we have old Jets? Does no one know more than one?
He was the first Jet.
You should be given the point just for not saying Dale Hawerchuk.
It's not a Timu move. Dale Hawerchuk, maybe. I'm just gonna go Ty Domi.
It was Nelson Emerson.
Okay, was not getting that.
All right, well, you're on to question 9. You got no bonus, though.
Here we go. Now I'm sweating.
You fell, you fat pig. Have another donut.
You fell, you fat pig. Have another donut.
You've likely viewed that exchange between former Devils coach Jim Schoenfield and referee Don Kowarski that led to Schoenfield being suspended. But do you know what Devils president Lou Lamoriello did to get his coach back behind the bench the next game that inevitably led to the game officials refusing to ref the game?
Oh, man.
Another wild story.
I don't know if I'm gonna even be able to guess this. I don't even know what to guess here.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild story. It's one of those things, again, you either probably know it right away or you just don't know it at all.
No, I don't think I know it at all, so I'm going to go for a wild guess. Some friends visit some friends, and the coach is back next game.
So your guess is friends visiting friends and maybe not being so friendly. That is incorrect. So, Lou Lamoriello had the coach file a restraining order against the NHL so that he was still allowed to coach. Well, Christian, I got some good and bad news for you. Which one do you want first?
Let's do the bad.
The bad news is you got that wrong. And now the good and weird news is you made it the furthest. Christian, you win. Christian, you are a BarDown champion.
Unreal.
I'm usually salty when anyone wins. This kind of feels like a win-win. A, my test was so hard that no one even made it to the end. B, you know what? First time winner. Congratulations.
Happy to get to hold this for the first time ever. Oh, it's heavier than I thought though too. I guess Jesse never has to hold this, eh?
He doesn't know how much it weighs. Winner's circle's all yours.
Oh man, I was so nervous for this quiz. I'm sweating right now. I don't know what to say. Was not expecting to make it this far. I'm happy to hold this belt for the first time. Thank you to everyone who continues to watch our quizzes and all the videos we put out there. People who follow us on social media. My man Danny DeVito. The night crew, you know, bringing this home for you guys. This is ours now. Day crew's got to come for it. Let's go.
Well, congratulations, and you didn't even have to put your foot in a crease to do it.